Hi students, and welcome to Bio in 30. This video is just something I make in case you missed the first day of lecture. I want to make sure that everybody has all the information. So again, we're going to cover this, or we've already covered this in our first lecture, but if you missed it, here goes. My name's Dr. Jensen. You can read about me here. I'm a discipline-based education researcher. I'm a biologist. I am a mom. These are my kids. I'm really excited to have you in my class. I just want to explain a little bit about how the course works as a whole. The first tools for your success, I'm going to give you lots of tools today. These are your TAs. Pictures coming. So these are your TAs. Your TAs are there to help you. They are paid to help you, so please use them. Our next tool for success I need to introduce a little bit. I'm going to teach you a little bit about how you learn. This is based on the extensive research I've done as, again, a discipline-based education researcher. So if you have a second to pause this video, you should go grab a mirror. So like either a compact mirror, or any kind of mirror really. You're just going to hold it up like this, and then you're going to look down at it, or look up into the mirror at a piece of paper on your desk and try to draw shapes and write your name and see how you do. So if you want to pause and do that, great. We're going to keep going. Hopefully you saw that it was really hard to do. Everything is backwards. So I often ask students, what if I'd given you this slide, a PowerPoint slide, to show you how it actually works in a mirror before you tried it? Would that have made it any easier? And some students will be like, oh yeah, that probably would have made it easier. And then I tell them to try again. It's not easier. And the reason is not because PowerPoint stinks, which it kind of does, but not because you don't believe me. It's because of the way that your brain works. Okay, we make neural connections and we create our own meaning of the world. That when you encounter something that is different than what you think, it requires your brain to rewire those connections, and that's hard. And so this is a process. Learning is dynamic. You have brain plasticity and your neurons change. Assimilation is when you learn new material for the first time and there's no new information in there that you're trying to change or adjust. And it's a lot easier, it's still hard, but it's a lot easier than accommodation, where you've got something in your mind already that maybe isn't quite right. You come up against something that seems different, you experience cognitive conflict, and then you're able to change that. But it's not something I can just tell you to do. You have to experience it to do it. And so that's why we teach this class the way that we do. It's very exploratory and student-centered and active, so that you are processing the information, experiencing cognitive conflict, and making those changes. Another thing I want to show you, and this is your second tool for success. This is my son a long, long time ago. He's now going on a mission. But he was explaining, after we had read it in the scriptures, he was re-explaining the story of the Good Samaritan. So I want you to just listen.
And all three guys wouldn't help him, and when one came, he took the man and put him in his truck and started driving away. And then he woke up in a bed. He was nice and warm, and he had a couple of bruises and cuts. And he felt really bad, but he was glad that the man helped him.
Okay, so what did you notice there? Did you hear that the guy had a truck? Why did he have a truck? Well, it turns out your mind is fascinating. And when you learn information, sometimes you miss important details. Now, in this case, that detail's not actually provided in the scriptures. We have no idea how the Good Samaritan got the wounded guy to the inn. But because there was a hole in my son's understanding, he filled it in with what he understood. And so, of course, it would have to be a truck of some sort. Your brain will do the same thing with biology. And so one of the most important study tools I can give you is to study out loud. When you study out loud, research shows you're more likely to recognize these gaps in your understanding and less likely to fill them in with garbage. Obviously, someone in the class is the best person to study with, but it really doesn't have to be. It could be a parent, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, a roommate, even the dog or a wall. Saying it out loud is a key to success. And you probably read that paragraph while we were talking, and it's really not unusual to be able to read that. Again, your brain fills in the holes. A couple other things I'm giving you is a video that I've made on how to study. I made it for Bio 100, but it applies to Bio 130. And then there's a study strategies module made by Dr. Chu, who's a cognitive psychologist who studies studying behavior, that's really helpful. So that's a third tool for success. Okay, so let's go through the syllabus and how the course works. Required supplies. We have you automatically enrolled in the textbook. It's called All-Inclusive Access. It gives you the textbook at a highly discounted price, but it's integrated into the Canvas system as an ebook along with Mastering Biology. It's like a fourth of the price if you were to actually buy the book, but it will automatically bill your account. You can opt out. I'm not requiring the Mastering Biology, but I strongly, strongly recommend it, as well as the textbook. But if you want to opt out, you must do so by the end of the add-drop deadline, which is the 7th of September this year. You also need a packet. That is absolutely, absolutely required. It is in the bookstore. You must bring it to every lab, and you will be pulling papers out of that and turning them in. So you do absolutely need a packet. So tasks to succeed. In homework, you're assigned a homework assignment every week in the lab. You will need to attempt, which just means you've gone through it and tried to do the problems. You will attempt each homework assignment after your lab and before Wednesday's class. The TAs in lecture will sign off that you've attempted the homework, and you get an automatic 5 points. Then you'll complete the homework assignment after learning what we learn in lecture, and turn that in the next lab for credit, depending on how well you do, so up to 10 points. There are also several assigned lecture assignments. Those are outlined in the syllabus and in Canvas, and I'll show you where in a minute. In lab, you will take a quiz at the beginning of every lab. It is only offered the first 10 to 15 minutes of lab, so if you are late, you will miss it. And that covers the material from the previous lab and the following 2 lectures, and your TA will go through all the details of that in your lab when you meet with them. Point breakdown, there are 3 unit exams. They're kind of a mix of multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, and essay. They're taken in the testing center. To encourage a growth mindset, the first one is worth 50 points, the second 100, and the third 150. So that you kind of learn how my exams go and you get better at it, hopefully. The final exam is 200 points. It is comprehensive. It is in the testing center during finals week. We will go to Canvas to look at some of the things on the course. We are using Canvas rather than Learning Suite, so there's the address to get to Canvas. You can also go to Learning Suite and it'll forward you to Canvas. I've got the syllabus there. I have a bunch of other things that I'm going to show you in just a moment. But first, another tool for success. Please go to Canvas Discussions, I'll show you where that is, and find a study partner. And so hopefully that helps you along the way. I just want to quickly highlight typical student scores. You can see here, these are 4 students in the past that have gotten A's. And if you look at their exam scores, they're not all A's, right? But they maybe improve over time, or they do okay. Their final exams, all of them actually got a B on the final exam. But what you'll notice is that all of them did nearly 100% in the lab and accomplished a huge amount of their homework. So don't underestimate the impact that attendance in lab and accomplishing the homework assignments really has on your grades. The exams aren't everything. So keep that in mind. This is the typical grade distribution for my class, so hopefully you can see that the majority of the class earns A's and B's. And really, if you put in the effort and do what I've asked you to do, that should be no problem for you. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at Canvas now. Okay, so here is our Canvas course. Again, to get to Canvas, it's byu.instructure.com, or you can go to Learning Suite and it will forward you here. This is the instructor view of our Canvas course. That's just because some of the things aren't available under the student view yet, and so I wanted to show you instructor view, but yours looks very much the same. And so here we go. Always click the Home tab on Canvas, never go anywhere else, and never click on assignments from this weird calendar view because it'll take you to the gradebook and they won't be there. So don't click there. Always click from the home. Don't use the breadcrumbs either. All right, so on the home page, this course information is all this important information that you need to know. So instructor information, this will have the link to my office hours and all of my information. The TA bios and office hours, this will be where your TA information is. So if you need to visit their office hours or get a hold of them, that will be on there. The Bio 130 Learning Outcomes is your best friend. If you download this document, it tells you what you should be responsible for being able to do after each class class period and after every lab. So if you're wondering if there's a study guide for this class, that is it. I would totally internalize that document. This is a schedule of due dates and suggested textbook readings. Wow, I'm tongue-tied. And it's kind of an intense document. I'm hoping it'll bring up a preview here. But it shows you what we're doing each day, when the exams open and close, when, in fact, let me just download it and see if I can just show it to you this way. There we go. Okay, so it's got each day of the week. You're going to labs on Mondays or Tuesdays, and then we have lecture Wednesday, Friday, and Monday. It will tell you what textbook chapters we're covering on each of those weeks. Here are your exam due dates. We have some research surveys that we get at the beginning and end. This is your inner fish assignments and when those are due, and then these are the lecture homework assignments and when they are due. Okay, so I would download that, get it on your calendar as soon as possible. Again, I'm going to click on home. This is the video I'm making right now, so that will be fixed and updated as soon as I'm done. These are my 2 studying videos that I talked about, so I would strongly recommend you take a look at those. The lecture assignments are listed here under this module. Let me talk about this first one really fast because it's very important. The first assignment you have that's due by the 10th is to take the pre-LCTSR. You do not need to study for this. You should just take it and do your very best. So this is a measure of your scientific reasoning ability. And I use this instrument all the time as a covariate to manage group equivalence when I do research studies, which I know is a mouthful. But the point is, it's actually just this side thing that I do to make sure my groups are matched. And it turns out that this instrument is always the first and most influential factor in student success in my class. It turns out that scientific reasoning skills are necessary to learn biology. And age is necessary, meaning that as you age, you go through growth spurts that are necessary for you to be able to do these reasoning patterns, but it is not sufficient to propel you through these reasoning patterns. So if you've not had the experiences necessary to gain these reasoning patterns, you may not have them yet, and you won't even know that you don't until you start struggling in this class. And we've done extensive research on this, and through our research, we've created an application to help you improve your reasoning skills if you are deficient at this time. It is completely voluntary. I'm not making you do that. I do want you to take the pre-LCTSR so you know where you are, but you don't have to do the best app. I've got right here, if you score less than 20 or more importantly, less than 14, these are some key cutoffs that I can discuss with you if you're interested one-on-one. But if you score less than 20, it means that you are deficient in some very important skills. Less than 14 and then you are really deficient and you're likely to struggle in this class. But using the best app, we have been able to improve student scores in a matter of a week, and that often leads to an 8% or more jump in your grade in the class. So take the LCTSR as best you can without looking things up, see how you do. When you get your score, if you decide that you feel like you want to improve your scores, you're going to click on this access point right here. It's going to take you to an open access Canvas course. So it'll probably have you create an account. It's free. Once you get in there, there are directions in there on how to use the program. I would strongly encourage you to do that. Some students can complete it in just a couple hours. Some students come back to it over and over and maybe take a week or 2 to improve those skills. And then you can take the LCTSR at the end of that program. It's embedded in there and see how you've improved. So anyway, that's another key to success for you. We have some pre-surveys that'll be posted shortly that I would like you to take by the 13th. And then these are the lecture assignments that are listed on the schedule. The photosynthesis cellular respiration poster, this is when it's due, this is the rubric and guidelines, the genetics homework packet, the evolution ecology homework, and the evolution special project. They all have instructions on what you're supposed to do, and I'll mention them in class throughout the semester. And post surveys. Your inner fish, you're going to be reading that throughout the semester. There are due dates on that schedule of when you need to blog about it. So what I mean by blogging is you're going to go onto the discussion board, which is right here, discussions. And when you click on that, it'll take you to like your inner fish chapters 1 through 4. You're going to post 2 original posts, so something interesting you found about the book, and then you're going to respond to other people's. And I think you have to do 3 responses. It's on the rubric. I should have looked before I made this video. And I'll mention it in class too. But you're going to blog about it on those certain dates, and this is to help you stay on target for finishing the book on time It's a really easy read. It shouldn't be hard to finish the book on time. Your library lab will also prep you for this assignment. We'll be doing that next week, the second week of the semester, and you'll be finding sources and things like that. We're going to do peer review on it, so we'll access these documents later. And then these are some sample book reviews, so you know what you're writing. I've posted a practice exam for you if you want to try out an exam before you take an exam, so you can just sort of see my style of testing. The final exam, like I said, is in the testing center. Here is your Mastering Biology links. If you choose to opt out, these will disappear. But if you don't opt out, these are here and they are awesome. So the links, this is your textbook. So if you click on this, and I think I've already done that up here. Yeah, so it'll take you to the ebook, so you can access any of the book chapters right directly from online. And I think you can even highlight and stuff and flag things. The other thing that I strongly recommend is the study area. It is fantastic. The study area has all kinds of, and let me make sure it's going to let me load this. I haven't actually accessed this yet through your link. But it has all kinds of videos and interactive figures and practice making modules and animations for studying, and it's fantastic. And the other thing I highly recommend you access, and I will mention it in class all the time, is I have created some modules with like practice exam questions for each of our areas. So if you go to the course home, again, I have to load it. Oh, fingers crossed it will load for me. So I have assignments in here, and I haven't actually scheduled them yet. Oh, joy. But there will be little modules in here. Oh, they're there. There's little modules in here that help you review, and they're like practice questions and I don't know, problems you're solving. They're really, really helpful. So I will be giving those out and assigning them, again, not for credit, but just to help you stay on track for the class. Okay, so that's Mastering Biology. Let's see, anything else I want to show you? I think that's everything. Obviously this is subject to change, but this is what the class looks like for now. Okay, so with that, I am so excited to have you in class with me. I'm really excited to be learning in person. I'm very excited to be your first class in biology, and I hope that you love it as much as I do. And we'll see you in class.